Anna Kaspirian went off on Israelis in a now viral clip, saying, "You are loathed by both the left and the right. Hear me, you are loathed." Glenn Greenwald retweeted it out, saying Anna Kaspirian here is just stating facts about public opinion globally and in the U.S. towards Israel. She's being widely branded as, you'll never guess, a bigot and anti-Semite for stating these, but they are facts nonetheless, and those facts do not care about your feelings. Here's the viral clip.
For any Israelis watching this right now, I want you to be clear. I want you to understand this, okay? You are hated internationally. Hated. The whole international community loathes you. Young American citizens in this country, both left and right, loathe you. And eventually, these are the people who are going to come into power. Don't be mistaken based on the propaganda you hear in American media. That's not representative of how the American people feel about you. You're hated. And it's not because you're Jewish. It's because you slaughter innocent people. It's because you think you're God's chosen people when you act like absolute demons. You guys like to slaughter people and steal land, and you think you're better than everyone else. You think that you're entitled to everything, including our tax dollars. It's disgusting.
You know, I didn't think it could happen to me, but just recently, someone stole my information and actually bought a car under my name in Texas. While I was standing in the Idaho DMV getting my new driver's license, a thief was driving off the dealer lot pretending to be me. And I only caught it because I was getting bombarded with alerts. Now imagine if I hadn't seen them in time. And this is exactly why today's sponsor, Aura, matters. If you've ever wondered how scammers get your personal info, your phone number, your address, even where you supposedly work, it's because of data brokers. These shady companies collect your data and sell it to anyone, from marketers to scammers, and they make billions doing it. They don't ask your permission. And while they're legally required to remove your info if you ask, they make the process nearly impossible on purpose. Believe me, I'm going through it right now. But if I had Aura set up before, this thief would have had a much harder time. Aura automatically scans and scrubs your information from those data broker sites, and then it keeps it off. It also gives you real-time fraud alerts, so instead of finding out a day later that someone used your name, you get notified right away. That's the kind of tool I wish I had in place when all of this happened. But Aura is more than just removing your data from shady brokers. It's an all-in-one digital security app. It alerts you if your personal info is found on the dark web. It monitors your credit and bank accounts in real time. It gives you a secure VPN, password manager, antivirus, and more. And if something does happen, Aura covers you with up to $5 million in identity theft insurance and 24/7 US-based fraud support. The fact that companies profit off of our stolen data while we're left vulnerable is outrageous. I learned that the hard way. But I'm not leaving myself unprotected anymore, and you shouldn't either. Protect yourself and your family with Aura. Try it free for 14 days at aura.com/Kim Iverson. And in just 2 weeks, Aura will show you where your personal data is being exposed and start scrubbing it off the internet automatically. Again, that's aura.com/Kim Iverson. Is she right? That is the big question. And I got to say, when we peruse around online, it does look like she is very accurate on this. We all know that the left has been very outspoken against Israel, being pro-Palestine, but it's also the right. Let me give you an example. I saw this post come about. This is Jack Posobiec. He writes this. He says, Mamdani, so this is Mamdani from, he's going to be potentially the next mayor of New York City, Zoran Mamdani. Says, Mamdani says Israel committed a genocide of Palestinians in Gaza. So this is all Jack wrote. He just makes this statement. Mamdani says Israel committed a genocide of Palestinians in Gaza. And Jack is on the right. And so you would expect that a lot of the right, the people who are on the right who would comment on Jack's post would be ones that would say, wow, he's such a communist. He's anti-Israel. This is anti-American to be anti-Israel. Like, what does he think? This guy is a nut. This guy is a nut. But actually, what ended up happening was a slew of comments, and I mean a slew, almost every single comment by mostly people on the right, mostly conservatives under Jack Posobiec's post were saying, yeah, well, I don't like the guy. He's a commie, but I agree with him, actually, Jack. Going to show that conservatives have completely changed their minds when it comes to Israel. Here's a few examples that we pulled for you. This is Dyer Report saying, even a broke communist is right twice a day. Here's one that says, yep, seems about right. And this person says, I say this as a 3-time Trump voter. Here's David Foster from Redacted. And he says, Trump voter here, and he's right. And we're complicit. Rhodey says, I don't like him because he's a communist. You don't like him because he's against Israel. We are not the same. So that's another conservative who's obviously saying, yeah, well, Antipathy says, yep, he's a piece of shit commie, but he's right. Since we aren't the ideologues you want us to be, Jack, we're not going to go and say, oh, well, Memdani is so bad, so he's obviously lying or wrong about Palestine. No, what we will do is use a little bit of critical thinking and see that you're trying to propagate. Nimrod Pod says, it's insane how much of a stranglehold Israel has on American conservatives. This socialist commie is going to win the New York City mayoral election solely because he is not pro-Israel. And I think there is a real shift that has happened on that. I think that many of us will not support any candidates who take AIPAC money, any candidates who pledge their allegiance to Israel, any candidates that go and kiss the Wailing Wall. They make their pilgrimage over to Israel. I think many of us are saying, nuh-uh. I'd rather have the commie. I'd rather have Memdani, somebody who's actually pro-America, than somebody who is obviously doing the bidding of a foreign country and against the best interests of Americans. Namrock says, sometimes we're not, well, I'll just let you read that one. I'm not going to say it out loud. Okay. Theo, 3-time Trump voter. It was a genocide. LMAO. So he's like, it was a genocide. Mike says one of the few things that he's actually been right on. Here's Eddie Wenrich. They did. I don't agree with anything that guy has ever said, but this one I do. Do you deny the genocide committed by Israel? Are you getting that $7,000? I certainly hope not. Here's Jake from Saggy Things. Says he's absolutely right. Can't stand the dude, but on this he's spot on. Here's Gracie Smith. That's what Charlie Kirk said too. Charlie said, I have to be careful how I say this. Their plan, a mandate, is to ethnically cleanse, definition of genocide, and remove 2.5 million people. So it's amazing that the right is the shift that we're having. I mean, for Jack Posobiec, who's a big commentator on the right and a big influencer on the right, for him to just have a slew, and I just showed you a few. I mean, if you go to that post and look at every single post underneath it, it is, I mean, some of the people are from the left, but it's overwhelmingly people from the right. And overwhelmingly, all of them are saying, yeah, well, Mamdani's right. It's a genocide. Israel committed a genocide. This is just showcasing the shift that has happened, the mentality that people, Anna Kaspirian's right in her video, the left and the right loathe Israel. Not only do we loathe them for committing a genocide, which we should be against genocides, but we loathe them for using our money, for infiltrating our political system, for buying off all of our politicians, blackmail campaigns that involve sex with children. I mean, all of the things that Israel has done, blowing up our Navy boats, blowing up, obviously having foreknowledge of 9/11 and not protecting us, not stopping the massacre of a bunch of Americans. All of the things they've done to us. How is it not treason? And I don't say that lightly. How is it not treason that that many of our politicians have sided with Israel, are doing the bidding for Israel, when Israel sat back and let Americans die, when Israel's actually killed Americans with the USS Liberty, when Israel has bought off many of our politicians, but worse yet, blackmailed many others? That is treason. That's the enemy. The enemy spies on us. The enemy blackmails us. The enemy kills us. And yet, many of our politicians take their money, do their pilgrimage to Israel, they kiss the Wailing Wall, and they pledge their allegiance. And you know what? Americans on both sides of the aisle loathe this. Loathe it. We won't stand for it anymore. And Americans are speaking up, and it's true. This is the future. And these young people will be the leaders. And I do not see Israel overcoming this. How are they going to overcome this? Because their plan is just to continue to try to blackmail and bribe us and shame us into being on their side. Well, we'll just call you an anti-Semite, won't we? Or we'll just, we'll do all of these terrible things. We'll censor you. We'll call you an anti-Semite. We'll shun you. We'll buy up all the media. We'll buy up all the social media so you're not able to say anything. That's not going to win friends. We're not going to change our minds. We're only going to loathe you more because we know you're doing it to us. So their plan to get over the loathing is one that's only going to create more deep resentment. And because they still have the plan to ethnically cleanse all the Palestinians, that's not really going away. Trump is trying his best to be like, see, I ended a 3,000-year-old conflict. No, you didn't. You didn't at all. There's no ending of that conflict until the land can be shared by everybody. And until the Jews and the Palestinians can share that land together, you haven't solved shit, Trump. You haven't. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Zilch. You have helped put an end to the massacre of children today. And that's good. I'm not saying that's bad. That's good. That is good. But it is certainly not ending this conflict. But the reality is that people loathe the Israelis, and they're only going to continue loathing the Israelis. The more that they continue to go against us, the more that they continue to show that they're actually not our greatest ally. They've been, if anything, one of the greatest enemies of the world to us and to the world, doing the same thing, not just to America, but to other countries, and committing a genocide in real time, live streamed on social media. We all saw it. We're all watching it. And yeah, that leaves, that's not anti-Semitic to say. This is just fact. Thank you for watching this clip from the full Kim Iversen Show, which you can catch Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern at KimIversonShow.com. It is free for you to watch. Again, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, KimIversonShow.com. See you there.